Robert Downey Jr., Jack Ma, Colonel Sanders. What unites this trio? They work in different industries and seem completely different. There is literally nothing in common between these three, except the age when they become successful. Your age doesn't matter. Trust me, it does not. I'm so tired of all these people constantly whining about their age, and also the ones who blame them for that. Listen, if you don't screw this up, you're actually supposed to live for about 130 years. Which means that even after you reach the age of 30, you still have around 50 to 100 years left of your lifetime. So how is this over? Considering that there is so many people who found success after 30. One of them is your favorite RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. This guy needs no introduction. Everybody perfectly know him, he's Iron Man. But he got landed that role when he was 43 in 2008. Up until then, his life was pretty miserable. He was born in 1965 to an abusive father. He suffered a lot in his childhood. His acting career, which was kickstarted by his father, by the way, in the late 80s till the late 90s, was pretty mild. Yes, there was some movies, he got some Oscar nomination for Chaplin, but it wasn't as successful as it is now. He was an Iron Man by that time. Plus, with drug addiction and prison sentence, you may see that his life was pretty miserable up until 43. Colonel Sanders, the face of KFC. He founded Kentucky Fried Chicken in 1952 when he was 62 years old, by the way. Born in 1890, he suffered a lot throughout his whole life, up until his 60s. He was for over 40 years, he was keep founding businesses and failing constantly. I'm not gonna mention all of them here because it has nothing to do with the video, because it's about age and I don't wanna waste anyone's time to make the video as long as possible for YouTube algorithm. So we're gonna keep it short. He was constantly failing in businesses up until he made the chicken recipe. However, these guys, both Robert Downey Jr. and Colonel Sanders, are not losers. Yes, their life was tough, but it doesn't make them losers. However, there is one guy who is. Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba, most known as AliExpress. Jack's life changed only after he founded Alibaba in 1999. By the time he was 35 already. By the way, I did not mean any offense when I called him a loser. Let's watch the clip, you'll understand.
Have, though, being rejected?
Well, I think we have to get used to it. We're not that good. Even today, we still have a lot of people reject us. I think when I graduated from universities, and before I, for 3 years I tried to fill in the universities. So I applied jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went for a police, they said, no, you're not good. I went to even the KFC. When KFC came to China, come to my city, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only one guy. And we went for police. 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that did not receive it. So to me, being turned down, rejected. Oh, by the way, I told you that I applied for Harvard for 10 times, rejected.
So this guy was the only one who got rejected from KFC. Out of 24 people, he was the only one. And the same happened with the police officer position. He was the only one out of 4 people. That's why, there is no other definition for a loser. Approved by society, this is exactly what the word loser means. And that's not an offense, it's an admiration. Because he still kept going. He didn't give up. Anybody in his shoes, including myself, would have given up. Just knowing the fact that not only you got rejected from a job, and not just a job, from a KFC, but also you were the only one who got rejected. Just how devastating that thought might be. So, props to Jack Ma for keeping up. The reason why I chose these 3 people in particular is because of that common thing between them. Not only they got successful and popular only in their 30s, 40s, 60s, but also they had a very tough life early on. more tough than in most of the other people cases. So if you're not the only person who got rejected from KFC out of 24 other people, you still have much better chances than Jack Ma. You just have to keep going. However, we still haven't touched the core of the problem. Why do people feel insecure about their age nowadays? We as humans are driven by instincts. One of the main ones is the instinct of comparing and judging. We all judge and get judged constantly. Every time you walk into some room, you're gonna get judged by everybody else there. And you judge everybody else as well. I do the same thing. Even now, you who are watching this video, you're judging me and compare yourself to me. However, people have a very superficial approach to everything. For you to feel insecure about yourself in comparison with me, I have to be 6'5", blonde with blue hair. Hitler's wet dream. Maybe I'm amazing inside, but nobody goes that deep. And it's getting worse with the invention of social media. Before, you knew like 10 to 20 people throughout your lifetime who made you feel insecure about yourself. One at school, one at job, one at university, some more successful neighbor, some distant relative your parents always compared you to. However, 10 to 20 people throughout the lifetime is a bearable amount. You can manage that. On top of that, 25 years ago, there were limited amount of ways to become successful. Unlike now. That's why the limited amount of possibilities were allowing people to settle down, to accept the reality, accept what they have and just be happy. It was easier back then. But in today's world, with social media, there are millions of successful people and hundreds of ways of how to make money online. And this is just too much to handle. Nowadays, you still have all these successful, approved by society way people in your actual real life, plus millions of young strangers on the internet in addition. You can just open Instagram and see all of them from different parts of the world, people you don't know, people you will never even meet. They're all young, have pretty faces, pretty bodies, they have nice cars, clothes and watches. You compare yourself to them, feel miserable, get angry and depressed. Most of these accounts are fake, but even if you know that, it still bothers you. If 5 years ago it was trending just to show off wealth, now it's just not enough. You also have to say how young you were when you made it, which makes everybody over 30 who didn't make it insecure about themselves. As inevitable the comparing and judging instinct is, it always comes down to whether you take it up here or not. Everybody has a different path. Like Forrest Gump said, box is like a life of chocolates. Just because somebody made it in their 20s, it doesn't mean that they're gonna have a great life later on. And the same vice versa. If you had a tough life in your early teens, 20s, childhood, doesn't mean that's gonna be like this forever. It's all up to you. Life might be miserable if you don't do anything about it, because you're the only one who can.
But if you brought them here, why didn't you help them? Because I wanted them to help themselves. To know the difference between right and wrong without me having to tell them. It's all meaningless if I have to force them to do anything. Why?
If you made it till the end of this video, props to me. I managed to keep you interested. Let me know in the comments what do you think about the video, whether you like it or not. Please mostly give me the constructive criticism so we can understand how can we improve. And please like and subscribe. Just one subscriber will be enough for us to understand that everything we are doing is not in vain. Thank you. Bye. See you soon.